What's going on, beautiful people? This is your girl, Blue Nola. I am back in the building to do another reading, an update, a quick update on Chrisean Malone, okay? This update is because there's a lot of confusion around will she be transferred to Oklahoma. Now, we have a playlist on Chrisean specifically. We actually have readings on the James Wright Chanel situation specifically. And then we have readings, updated readings on like I think we did a podcast on Oklahoma where I broke it down. And so you can always check those out. But today, I saw some blog saying she was going to be out on I guess in 2 days, free to go home. And then other people are saying, no, she's gone to Oklahoma. And then the bigger blog stepped in, of course, to almost reinforce that she is going to Oklahoma. The Shade Room specifically, they wrote a very extensive article where they detailed out what's happening with Chrisean Malone. They claim they called someone there they spoke to an agent who confirmed that she will be extradited to Oklahoma. Is this true? Will she be extradited? Is there any and even okay, so if, for example, she's extradited, will she be treated fairly? Will she get will she be able to, because I'm hearing she's just going to get probation. Will she go back into probation? Will she have to serve at least some time? This is what we're going to be looking at today. So will she be really extradited to Oklahoma? And when she gets to Oklahoma, will they actually give her some time for the probation violation? They were trying to accelerate her at one point from what I remember before. Will she actually have to sit down for a while with Oklahoma? And then for how long? What's that looking like for her? So legal readings are very tricky. It's not set in stone. There are a lot of twists and turns, as you can see with Blueface. Our predictions on Blueface have been pretty straightforward and pretty spot on. I had a dream, but I didn't actually do a reading. Like, I had a dream, but my readings, as far as he's concerned, as far as him, they've been pretty spot on. So let's get started with Chrisean Malone. I'm going to first add to, before I get started, I'm going to do some protection from evil. Powder. There are a lot of people out here that are extremely negative on this here internet, right? So we're going to do a little bit of protection energy around us. This is to actually protect ourselves from evil spirits. Keep away, it says keep away enemies. So this is what we're going to pour here specifically, right, as we do this reading. We're going to also light a nice incense. This is also one that kind of connects to spiritual energy. And we're going to also light this one as well, just because, like I said, there's a lot of negative people. People wonder why spirits be chasing them, right? People be wondering why they have spirits coming in their house. They have negative energy. It's a lot of negative on the internet. I'm not just talking about this situation. It's just insane how much negativity. Specifically here, while we're doing this reading on Chrisean, we're going to add in a few things. This is a candle that, of course, I've prepped. But today we're going to do some conjure oil. And we're going to do a few things. So we're going to do, let me lift these wicks up, because I had them up, and then they all have fallen down once again. We're going to do a nice little, potion, not a potion. We're going to do some, this is some conjure oil. We're going to add that to the mixture. Okay. We're going to do some protection from enemies and evil oil. We're going to flip it, right? Counterclockwise, if you will. All right. We're going to do, that fell. We're going to pick it up. Fiery wall of protection. Some more protection oil. We're going to turn it a little bit more. I'm always turning things to me. Last but not least, this is actually court case oil. Court case oil, we're going to do something towards the end. In terms of Chrisean Malone. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and light our candle. And again, we're going to let this burn out just a little bit. And those oils will kind of melt into the wax a little bit right now. Don't put this on top of, please, don't put this on top of the actual wicks. Do it on the wax. We're going to go ahead and light our actual spiritual powder for protection, keeping away those enemies. And I also do, I am, this is, you can consider this, if you're not into this portion, go ahead and bypass it. This is, little ritual type stuff. We're going to go ahead and like this too. Now, we're going to let those things burn out. And then while we're letting these things burn out, we're going to go ahead and get started with the reading. Spirit, give me the energy around Chrisean Rock. Chrisean Malone. That is her actual name. The question, Spirit, is regarding her imprisonment situation. This is what it talks about. Okay. I'm seeing a justice aspect here already. What's going on with Chrisean in terms of her legal situation? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of filter that over there a little bit. She has the Queen of Wands. She has the Card of Justice. She has the Nine of Cups. And then she has the Ten of Cups here. All right. So if you're looking at any of this, this is actually indicating to us that there is definitely, she's going to be faced with challenges, right? She's already been, faced with, I would say additional challenges. She's already being, I want to say these words because a lot of people like to throw this around. She's not being held accountable. She's in jail. She's now being held accountable for the actions, right? So her Queen of Wands is her. This is her being, this is her, in terms of the behavior. This is her in terms of all the stuff that she's facing. The Queen of Wands is about her being remanded. The Queen of Wands, to me, this is all about her being restricted, right? For whatever the legal situations are. There's multiple things that are out there. Of course, I know about the James Wright Chanel situation. There is a situation with looks like a Hispanic lady. There's another situation with I think it was like somebody in the beauty industry. And I think I'm missing something or someone, but that's what they have right now. So this represents here in her messages. This is when she, of course, was not turning herself in. And this is, of course, representing, a person who's taking a lack of accountability. So this is actually showing up in her messages as a lack of accountability and somebody who was pretty much, if you want to say this, this could be considered someone who was spiraling out of control or had some moments where they weren't in control of themselves. So the Queen of Wands in reverse could represent somebody who's now being restricted, somebody who's now being isolated, somebody who's now being limited, pulled from their life. This is what this is showing up as, okay? When you look at this at the surface value, this is actually technically 1 to 13 weeks of some prolonged energy, right? Now, she has a justice aspect here. And this justice aspect represents a lack of accountability, as I said. And then she comes here in her messages here. And this is representing for Chrisean Rock. There is some punishment coming her way, right? This is what it talks about. So for all the people who feel that she's not being held accountable, it's in these messages. Again, she's now been detained. She was arrested. She's now been detained. She's serving the time for the James Wright Chanel situation. She has restitution and a restraining order. So that is being resolved. And then obviously they're moving her through. I like the fact that they're moving her through pretty quickly instead of it being a prolonged situation. But this is here. Okay, now this next message in her Nine of Cups in reverse. This talks about, right, that she's going to have to, I'm not going to say unfortunately, because as much as I like Chrisean, I also have to be able to say realistically, she's made some mistakes. She's made some mistakes. She's done some things that she shouldn't have been doing. And this represents the error, the fault, the imperfections, right? Nobody's perfect, but this represents her having to deal with the consequences of that. Now, when you look at this time frame is representing less than 9 months, right? Now, this altogether, but this ultimately could represent for Chrisean having to go through a process where she's really going through it for the next 1 to 9 months. This doesn't necessarily represent jail for 9 months right now. This just represents going through having to deal with the consequences of the actions. Right behind that, she does have coming home, right? She does have coming home in her messages. This is under her Ten of Cups. If y'all can see that, let me show it to you. See these people happy together? This represents harmony. This represents home life. This represents eventually coming home. So it does have I guess you would say, a light at the end of that tunnel, if that makes sense. So now what we're going to do, she already has the Justice card here, okay? And we're going to leave this up because the Justice card represents legal situation. So it represents a legal situation for Chrisean. It does not stand on its own to indicate incarceration, but it could suggest that she may not get something that we think is fair. Okay, because it is in reverse. In an upright energy, you would say, okay, it's going to be fair. But when it's in a reverse, that represents a legal decision that could represent some type of consequences, right? So it does show, this is what this is talking about. So not going to check in for the probation, not doing the I guess the community service. This is what this the other incidents. This is what this talks about. So again, this is actually a classic card for legal situations. And it basically indicates incarceration, but it doesn't stand alone. But she does have in her messages, we're going to pull some more messages that her mistakes or the things that she's done or the things that she's been involved in will lead to some consequences. So we're going to leave this here and we're going to pull a little bit further. Spirit, give me the energy around Chrisean Rock. Will she be extradited to Oklahoma? There's an extradition. They claim she's awaiting extradition. Is this happening? She has the World card. World card energy is a travel aspect. Okay. So if you looked at the World card, it talks about somebody who's going to have to travel because of an issue. Right. So prepare yourself. I'm doing this reading because I don't want people to be, listen, I don't want to call people, I want people to be realistic. Okay. We want to be realistic. And even though sometimes I feel like these bigger blogs be on stuff, we still need to be realistic about what's happening around. We have to be prepared and realistic. This is the reason why people do readings. This is the reason why people seek counsel. This is the reason why people, whether you're in the church, they go to, we have to keep realistic expectations. So this represents someone who can actually have a travel aspect put upon them because of some type of issue. They need to close something out. This is a travel aspect. Okay, so it is showing up as a travel aspect for Chrisean to address something that may be incomplete, doesn't have closure, something that is stagnant, that is sitting on top of her, right? Is travel. So this is what it talks about. So it comes up as an extradition. So to answer the first part of this, it shows a potential, I'm going to say words like potential extradition. Okay. When she gets to Oklahoma, what's the energy around her in terms of her legal situation with Oklahoma? She has the Six of Cups. Oh, sorry. It's coming out. The Six of Cups. She has the Ten of Pentacles. She has the Two of Wands. And she has the Knight of Wands. When you look at these messages here, this is representing, and again, this is for entertainment purposes, she may get stuck, right? So this is, again, why I'm doing this reading, because this talks about we need to not be unrealistic. She may get stuck. This talks about a setback. This also talks about, things can shift and change, right? So it could be like a known energy. So this is, Spirit is telling me, and for me, even for me, this may be a situation where she may go there and things might start shifting and changing. And then here, again, her future position represents she goes through the process, she does what she's supposed to do, and she's taking action, and she's out of there. So as you can see in your Knight of Wands represents, changes. And it represents almost like being able to depart from that situation, if that makes sense. All right? Now, give me anything else you see around Chrisean for this situation. The Chariot. Eight of Wands. Knight of Cups. Eight of Cups. Again, this represents a drifting. And it also can represent holding. This is a delay. These are things. So it almost makes you feel like once she gets there, there may be some shifting around hold. There may be some shifting. So just, again, we have to be realistic if they decide to say, okay, you got to stay here for a period of time. You got to do this. You got to do that. And also, this is almost indicating to me that other legal situations could play a part too, right? You know, one thing compounds the next thing. So there's something about basically lacking some direction and control. There's a hold, a delay, and then there's a message around just drifting. So again, it's kind of giving me the energy that if she may be in a situation where she's kind of like just in there, all right? So let's get will she have to remain, will she have to be there for a period of time? Because it's almost like saying she's going to have to be there here. Let's just ask her straight out. Give me the energy around Chrisean. 7 of Cups. Page of Swords. Musician. She definitely needs to get this. It's telling me she needs to get, I mean, I don't know what's up with the lawyer, but this talks about poor planning on that part. So if anybody has a contact with her, she needs to have a real lawyer and a good lawyer, because it talks about without her having proper representation, strong representation. Sometimes it's not even about who you have. It's not about just having a lawyer. It's about having the right lawyer. This represents poor planning, latent talents, right? Bad talent, lawyer. And this could represent more delays. So I feel like she needs to have a lawyer already, boom, 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 on top of it, because it could that could be the difference between her getting things done, like she's getting things done in Cali versus Oklahoma. Whack 100. I can't stand this man, right? He said she don't need a lawyer. She absolutely needs a lawyer. That would be a misstep on her part. Okay. This is with a Chant. All right, let's close it on out. Give me the energy around the justice aspect for Chrisean Rock. Ultimately, overall energy for Chrisean Rock as she goes to Oklahoma. Let me move this so I can do a wider hand. There's an indicator of going away in this first one. This is random energy. Give me the message around Chrisean as it relates to her legal situation. All right, and this is a hand that was intentionally dealt. Okay, so I just kind of like just took these out. Okay, so let's just go ahead and just start with the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups came up a few times for her already. All right, the 8 of Cups in legal situation represents a person who could be going away. All right, to going away energy. All right, so this is what this indicator is here. She also has some messages here in her 5 of Swords. Now, the 5 of Swords is an indicator of somebody who could get eventually probation or probation coming the way. 5 of Swords energy is like accepting responsibility, having to take on something that you need to address. I'm sorry. Yeah, 5 of Swords is not probation. 5 of Swords is taking on the accountability of what you've done. She does have spirits telling her pay attention. Spirit is telling her to this. I think also too this is representing worry. She is worried. This actually represents an isolation. It does talk about of course we're not going to do too much on the baby, but she is worried about the baby and things of that nature. But she's been communicating. But any mother would be worried about their child. She has a message around independence soon. So it does show that she may not do the full time that they want her to do. So again, there's something, remember in the last hand, there's something about unexpected changes. So to sum it up, I feel like she will be transferred to Oklahoma. I feel like she will be in a holding phase. I feel like there are going to be some shifts and changes that are going to be unexpected. And I feel like she's not going to do the entire time that they're going to lay out for her. Let's flip to the next one. She's got the King of Swords, the Moon card, the Judgment card, the Magician, the Six of Swords, and she has the Justice card coming back. Now, that hand looks a lot different. Now, King of Swords represents a decision that could go against them, right? And people being unhappy, judgment coming her way. This talks about action. This talks about a transition, and then there's a justice. I do feel with that justice being in an upright position, that means fairness, right? There could be some sense of fairness with her. But this King of Swords, guys, and I mean, I know that a lot of people that ride for Chrisean and love Chrisean. My sister be arguing me up and down the Mississippi River about Chrisean. But at the end of the day, her behavior, right? The incidents have led her here. And you cannot sit here and be oblivious to that. It's here in her messages. The King of Swords in reverse could represent a person who their behavior could be considered, she's undisciplined. Moon card, there's a lot of confusion about release dates and what's going to happen and this, that, and the other. Again, there's going to be a lot of shifts and turns. But judgment is coming, an absolution, and then it talks about some fairness. Again, things could change, things can shift, but this is what it is, okay? We're going to wish Chrisean the best of luck in this situation. It does show that she will reflect on her actions and her behavior that she's been exhibiting. But let me say this, and I really love to say this because this is just so true. Chrisean, I almost feel like sometimes, depending on your environment, sometimes you don't have a chance in life because of the people that brought you in this world, right? This is what it shows. This is what when I look at certain people, even in real life, these are celebrity-based people, so public figures, but they're no different than a person who grew up with parents, a dysfunctional situation, and then the environment breeds the individual now has become a part of that environment, toxicity, energy, and then what happens is then they go out into the world and they keep those same behaviors, right? We learn from our parents, we learn from our environment, we learn from that. I just saw a video where Chrisean's mom was just talking about, and she looks like she's still abusing, she's still, what you want to call it, indulging. So sometimes, our environments, that's just like with all of us. When you read for clients, all of us, me, myself included, our environments make us who we are. It's a choice that we have to make every day to do better and be better, right? So this is actually something I'm going to do. I'm going to put it on social media so that multiple people can hear this and that it can spread far wide. You can do this yourself. This is going to be a freedom chant, okay? This is not set in stone. This is not anything that can free somebody, but it definitely gives some help to, this definitely will give some help to somebody's situation. You can use this for money. You can use this for an apartment. You can use this for a house. You can use this for love if you want to. You can just change the words around, however you feel, whatever you want to do. But for Chrisean, I was able to change some of the wording around. So we're going to do, I would say, a court case fairness chant. You can say freedom if you want to, but we'll call it a court case chant. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Now, when I say these words freedom, I'm not saying she's going to be free tomorrow. We're just invoking that energy of let her be free. And this freedom is going to be free in mind, free in spirit, free in terms of her situation. Let her work through this and get it all resolved. Like, okay, accountability. Okay, something has happened. Taking accountability, riding through the system, going through the process. Now people can't hold this over her head. She's now being held accountable. She's in this situation. Now, let's work towards accountability. So freedom of mind, freedom of self. That's what we're talking about. So we're going to put our palms up. Now, I would say to you, set your intentions. You know, your intentions are for Chrisean to have a fair decision, legal decisions in terms of what she's, in terms of what's expected. You know, and then you can set your intention. So I'm going to go ahead and start chanting. Freedom, freedom, come to me in an abundance, 3 by 3. May Chrisean be enriched in the best of ways, harming none along the way. This I accept, so I mote it be. Free Chrisean Malone, 3 by 3. And again, you can say that over and over and over again. And it just, again, is helpful to like put positive energy. You can use your Bible. You can use the Our Father prayer to pray, right? If people are really into the Bible. Y'all know I'm Methodist by denomination and spiritual, so I'm half and half. I would say 70 and 30. 70% spiritual, and that 30% is still there on my Christian side. You can use your Bible if you want to do anything that you see in the Bible around, release and help for people. Or you can do spiritual stuff, whatever you feel comfortable with. So again, freedom, freedom, come to me in an abundance, 3 by 3. Oh, I'm sorry. Freedom, freedom, come to thee in an abundance, 3 by 3. May Chrisean Malone be enriched in the best of ways, harming none along the way. This I accept, so I mote it be. Free Chrisean Malone, 3 by 3. So I'm going to type the words in the chat so you can see it. You can do this 5 times. You can do this 10 times. I'm going to let this candle burn the rest of the day since I've already infused it. This is a candle that I use all the time for different things, and I do switch them up. But this one is one that I use for court case situations. So let me tell you how well these work. These work so well. And let me stop for a second. Okay, let me tell you how well these work. I've had situations where clients have done this, and they've had people who have 5 years. Didn't even do a whole year. Did maybe 6 months. I know another person who was facing 2 years. I think they did a couple of months, maybe. So this is temporary energy. It is not set in stone. It is not a fixer-upper. Chrisean still needs to go through the process and deal with whatever legal situations and be accountable. Since y'all want to throw, we love to throw, like, she needs to be accountable. She's in jail. Okay? What else can she do? That's being accountable, right? She's now in the situation where she has to be, whether it's forced or not, take accountability for what's happened. So again, you can actually do this 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. I suggest leaving the candle in a safe space and let it burn out for the rest of the day. You can get the tall white candles. White are great. White's great. You can do black candles are powerful. You can do spiritual candles offline. You go to your local spiritual store. You can also do some from Amazon. Again, black or white candles are really good. These are white. I like the white because they're, for purity. Black is power. You can look up the different candles. And then, of course, again, you want to set the intentions, what your intentions are. You can do a prayer right before you start chanting, and then just put your palms up and start chanting. The main thing I would say about any chant that you do is all about your intentions, all right? You can do this, and this is not just for Chrisean. You can do this for anybody that you know, again, for various situations. But today we're going to do one and for just fairness, right? Fairness. So whatever, God says so, right? This is what we're talking about today, all right? So accountability has already been taken by her being arrested and or put through the system and going through our legal procedure. Now it's like she's being made to address every situation. And then, if this transition happens to Oklahoma, then she'll be taking care of that too, and so on and so forth. So this is just a way to just infuse more positive energy in any legal situation that you're facing. Also, too, if you get tired of chanting, you can record yourself chanting. Make sure you put the candle in a safe space. Take your notes and put them not too far away. Put your candle in a safe space. And you just, and if you record it, you can just let the recording play out. Because sometimes I'll record myself chanting just because I get tired of chanting. The main thing with any spell, chant, shadow work, conjure, is all about your intentions. So, thank you so much for watching. Take care, stay blessed, encouraged, and empowered. This is Blue Nola. You know my real name is Chris. And this is just a way for y'all to like kind of get some insight. The main thing that if you walk away with anything I'm saying today is, as much as we want to see somebody home, right? Because they do have a little bitty baby. They got a lot of people. Look at Bishop Whitehead. He got 3 kids. He's away from them. Judge don't care nothing about that. People gotta go through. If they've done something, right? They have to stand for it. That's like anybody in our families. If they were in a legal situation, we have to address it. Even a parking ticket. You get stopped, you don't have insurance, and they give you a ticket, you got to go to court. You can't just go run off to the wind. All right? The word of today is accountability. So, I hear that a lot on the internet. So we're going to say Chrisean is now being held accountable. And hopefully, she'll work her way through the system and not only just get back to her baby, but get back to, being and let me say this, keep your hands off people. It's not worth it. Even in New Orleans now, there's a 3-day hold. I don't know about other cities, but there's a 3-day hold. I'm not putting my hands on nobody, baby, because I'm not about to be sending nobody to jail for popping somebody in the head. And now, I'm good for popping somebody upside their head, okay? I don't play no games, but my hands off people, because at the end of the day, shit could get real, okay? So, I hope that Chrisean learns that, using violence is not the key to any situation. Take care, stay blessed, encouraged, and empowered. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. Throw your thoughts inside here. Please do not mention anything about her child. I don't do children on this channel. There's not one child on this thumbnail. This channel is set to, we do not deal with children. If you make a comment about Chrisean Jr., all right, unfortunately, I'm going to have to delete it. I do not do children. I don't talk about children on this channel like that, all right? I try to stay away from it. Again, like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. Don't forget to book with me at BlueNolaTarot.com, and I'll see y'all later. This is on Chrisean Rock. I think I might do King You More next. Let me know if y'all interested in that. Bye.